The name BTS has once again stirred the hearts of millions of fans around the world. But this time, the feeling is different. It's not because of new achievements or global records, but because of a big question that has slowly crept into the minds of ARMY. Is this the end of everything? And more specifically, are Taehyung and Jungkook, who have been the center of attention all this time, finally at the point of separation? Recently, the atmosphere surrounding BTS has felt quiet but heavy. There have been no dramatic announcements, no explicit official statements. On the contrary, everything seems to come from small things, half-hearted words, glances that are no longer the same, a distance that is slowly felt even though they are still on the same stage. For fans who have followed every detail of BTS's journey for years, even the smallest changes feel very real. Taehyung, with his usual honesty and emotionality, has recently been uttering sentences that sound like reflections on separation, about time passing, about change, about accepting the fact that not everything can last forever. Meanwhile, Jungkook, who is usually full of energy and spontaneity, seems calmer, more reserved, as if carrying an unspoken burden. Their interactions have become a topic of discussion. There is no longer any excessive excitement, no small touches that used to make ARMY scream hysterically. All that remains is a calm, mature togetherness, and it feels like a farewell that has been slowly prepared. For some, this is just a sign of maturity. But for many ARMY, it feels like a painful signal. Questions about a final album began to surface. Every time BTS talked about new music, words like conclusion, final chapter, and meaning of the journey appeared more and more often. The albums they released were no longer just about ambition or achievement, but about memories, gratitude, and the long journey they had been on together. Was this BTS's way of saying goodbye? Or was it just a phase of reflection before they moved on to something bigger? In the context of Taekook, speculation is running wild. Their relationship, which has always been seen as a symbol of closeness, comfort, and strong emotional bonds, is now being questioned. Are they keeping their distance for the sake of their individual growth? Or is this really the moment when two paths that once walked side by side must now part ways? However, one thing that is often forgotten amid all the theories and concerns is the fact that BTS, including Taehyung and Jungkook, are human beings. They grow, change, and have the right to determine the direction of their own lives. Not all distance means separation, and not all silence means the end. Sometimes, love and bonds endure in a calmer, more mature form that no longer needs to be displayed. ARMY is at an emotional crossroads, between fear of loss and learning to let go, between hoping everything stays the same and accepting that change is a part of life. If this is truly the end, then it is an end full of meaning. But if this is just the beginning of a new phase, then BTS has taught us one important thing: that togetherness doesn't always have to be visible to be felt. So is this the end? Does everything truly end with this farewell? Or is this just a pause before BTS, Taehyung, and Jungkook return with a more mature and honest story? One thing is certain. Whatever happens, their footprints are too deeply embedded in the hearts of millions to truly fade away. And as long as their music continues to speak, the story of BTS, including Taekook, is far from over. The silence that now envelopes BTS feels even louder than the cheers of a stadium. In that silence, ARMY begins to read the meaning between the lines of lyrics, in the long breaths before an answer, and in the teary eyes when the word together is mentioned. There is no official statement about a breakup, no confirmation about a final album. But precisely because of that, the anxiety grows. Taehyung and Jungkook, two names that have long been seen as symbols of unshakable closeness, now stand at different points in their lives. Taehyung seems to be increasingly immersed in a world of reflection, art, and the search for meaning. He talks about loneliness, about understanding himself, about accepting that love and togetherness do not always run smoothly. Each of his words sounds like a letter written to the past, full of emotion but also sincerity. Jungkook, on the other hand, seems to be in a quiet phase of growth. He doesn't talk much, but his actions show a big change. He is focused, disciplined, and more reserved than before. His smile is still there, but it no longer bursts out. It's as if he is learning to stand taller as an individual, not just as part of a bond that is always in the spotlight. When they stand on the same stage, the aura is palpable. It's not cold, not hostile, but different. Like two people who understand each other without needing many words, but are also aware that life is taking them in directions that are not entirely the same. This is what hurts fans the most. Not a clear breakup, but a distance that grows slowly without a sound. The issue of the last album further reinforces that feeling of loss. BTS's latest albums feel more personal, more honest, and more emotionally heavy. The lyrics are no longer about conquering the world, but about survival, about exhaustion, about love that has changed form. Many feel as if BTS is closing a big book that they have written together for more than a decade. But does closing one book mean that the story is truly over? Or does it open a new chapter that we are not yet ready to read? BTS has always been known as a group that never truly leaves without meaning. Every pause, every change, always has a reason. What we see today may not be the end, but rather a phase where they are learning to let go of the world's expectations and listen to their own hearts. Including Taehyung and Jungkook, who may be learning to love in ways no longer visible to the camera. For ARMY, this is the toughest test. A test to keep loving without demanding, to keep supporting without needing to understand everything. Because in the end, BTS never promised that everything would remain the same forever. What they promised was only honesty. If this is indeed a farewell, then let it be a gentle one. Not with tears and wounds, but with gratitude for all the memories that once were. And if this isn't the end, then maybe we're just in the middle of the story, in the quietest part before the light comes back. Taekook, BTS, and the whole story that comes with them have become a part of many people's lives. And a story that has touched so deeply will never really end. It just changes form, staying in memories, in songs, and in the hearts of those who once believe. If this is truly BTS's final album in the formation and emotional state we know, then it is not a failure. It is a fitting conclusion to an extraordinary journey. A final album does not always mean the end of everything. Sometimes, it is simply a sign that one phase has ended and another phase is waiting to begin. A phase that may no longer be noisy, no longer in the spotlight, but more honest and human. Taekook, amid all the speculation and emotions surrounding it, may not be parting ways. Perhaps they are learning to walk side by side without always having to hold hands in front of the world. And that is not the end of love, but a transformation of love itself. Love that no longer needs validation, no longer has to be proven through small moments captured by cameras.